Hi, I'm Marina and I'm with Sage Francis, and we're back with part 2.
Yeah.
Just missed. So you run Strange Famous Records for the past 5 years. Has that been hard?
Yes, it's been so hard. I've run it longer than 5 years. It's something I started in '99, and I was just putting out my own material. But then I started putting out other people's stuff, and then we started hiring a couple other people to help run Strange Famous Records. But over the past 5 years is when we grew more, but the music industry collapsed around us, and all the old rules no longer applied, and that entailed me having to sit down and try to rework every single angle and make sure that our artists got the exposure that they deserved and the public had access to our artists. And it's just becoming increasingly more difficult. It's a very, very, very tough business, and that's all I can say about it. It really takes up most of my days and nights, and I'm happy and proud of what we've done, but I'm waiting for the new paradigm. I'm waiting for the paradigm shift. I don't know what is going to end up happening with, for a small label like Strange Famous Records, where we try to do as much as possible with as little as possible, it's cool that the internet is there for us, and we utilize it very well. I like to be that, to have strangefamous.com and have featured artists, and people will continue to come back to us for what they want out of our style of hip hop. That's cool. But how do we expand that fan base, and how do we make sure that everybody gets what they deserve? That's still yet to be seen.
With you being in a position then of running a record company, with one of your albums leaking earlier, how was that for you? Were you devastated, or were you...
I just would love one day to find the person who leaks the album first and just punch his head inside out. I just want to crush their fucking skull and fart on their brain.
Obviously, a lot of your fans were happy about it.
Then I was
from the other side.
No, I'm so when someone gives me a free car, I get pumped, so that's cool.
But obviously your fans are really happy about the leaking of
Of course, yeah, sure. Some are, the fans are they act differently. Some are into that. Some don't want to hear any leak until they get the actual album. And the way I process and experience music is I wait for the album. I like to get the album and open it and this or read about it, blah blah blah. But I know that's not how people are growing up listening to music now. So I'm a little out of the loop. I just wish people would feel less entitled to stuff that really isn't theirs to do what they want with it.
Okay. Well, growing up in Rhode Island, you had a lot of touring artists coming by.
In Ireland?
Rhode Island.
Oh.
Sorry, bad pronunciation. Who were the best artists you saw?
Oh,
who impressed you the most?
We had so many great artists coming through Rhode Island, which we were close enough to New York City that the best hip hop artists would come through. Public Enemy was my first concert, and I always talk about it because it made such a big impact on me. But Public Enemy, Run DMC, EPMD, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, and LL Cool J. It was all one concert. My mom took me to it. I think I was 12 years old, and that just, once I saw that, it was in a huge stadium too. It just was a huge event, and just seeing these guys tear it down, and that was my introduction to Public Enemy, and to see them on stage with their dance squad and their machine guns and cages, and the DJ was suspended from the ceiling it was just fucking, no one can do that. No one's as good as that.
And you've spoken about Public Enemy a lot in your interviews, about the message they bring through their music. What is it about them that you just love so much?
They were everything. They were the pinnacle of hip hop as far as I'm concerned. They just worked on every level. It was the visuals, it was the style, it was grating, it was new, it was fresh, and it took a minute to get into, and then when you did get into it, it just you become addicted to that. It was rugged, it was rebellious, and it was hard. And I don't try to emulate that music. Sometimes I'll give a head nod to it, but that is so good. That is what it is. Let it be. I don't think I don't ever want to try to say I'm going to make a record just like that. Because I don't touch beautiful things in a way that Like, I can be that beautiful. Like, I don't try to do that.
Which artists do you feel passionate about?
A lot of artists.
A few.
Which ones don't I feel passionately about?
Okay, which ones don't?
Drake. I'm not passionate about Drake.
Why not? Justify it.
He's false. Something about him is very false. He's just like immediately palatable. Like something about him, it was created in a boardroom, and he fakes passion, and that insults me. And I know he probably believes that he really is the shit, but he's not.
You've spoken before about how in 2010 it's a lot harder to make it as a big artist as compared to before. In what way do you...
Well, it's not harder to make it as a big artist, it's harder to make it as a smaller artist. Because there's so many people out there that are flooding the industry, there's flooding the market, and only few people who have access to the media outlets that are gonna like push you beyond the ordinary sea of musicians that are all fighting for scraps.
Well, to aspiring musicians then, what would be your advice in this day and age?
I mean, unless you're willing to give up everything, don't try. Be creative, do stuff that you feel rewarded by, keep company with people that you trust and enjoy. Don't sign your stuff over to people you don't trust. And follow your gut on that. As far as like I'm concerned, sometimes I went against my gut and worked with people that I kind of knew were sketchy, and I was like, but they're gonna do this for me. It was like this like greedy part of me and this needy part of me that wanted to elevate, and so I was willing to like skip a couple steps. I was very fortunate to have worked up every rung of the ladder without like being given any warp code or whatever. It was like, I'm very secure in where I'm at in my career, and I understand how I got to where I'm at. And
is there a step of your career in which you regret?
There's certain artists that I've worked with that I've given exposure to or helped out that I kind of wish I didn't waste my time on. Certain labels that I worked with that I shouldn't have given as much to them as I did. No disrespect to Epitaph, but there are other labels I've worked with that I should have been more cautious about.
Has your outlook on life changed a lot? Because obviously this new record, as we said before, is a lot more honest, and not honest, but it's a lot more kind of an insight into who you are as a person.
Yeah.
Has your outlook kind of changed on this then?
Has my outlook changed?
Yeah, on life.
No, nothing's changed. No.
Have you just decided that? I mean, has your opinion on your music changed at all, and that you want to send across a different kind of message?
No. The messages in my music are an ever-evolving. Whatever my philosophies are at that moment in my life, they make their way into my music, and it's been a natural progression. I don't think there's been any drastic changes over the course of my career. I may have become more. Actually, I may have become more lax in certain ways, like not as idealistic as I was when I first started out.
How important do you think it is to make politics in music?
How what?
To combine politics and music.
How hard is it?
How important do you think it is?
Not too important. I don't think that there's a need for that. I think if you have something to say it, but don't let politics drive your music.
Okay, well thank you so much for your time. Great meeting you. Thank you.